Okay, here I have my pork. I using the pork without the skin, and this is almost 3 pounds. But for your recipe, you want to buy the one for 2 pounds. I'm going to just take the plastic and everything out. I'm going to rinse it up with a little bit vinegar, and then I'm gonna cut off in small pieces, and I'm gonna show you what you're gonna do next. And you can use pernil, pork shoulder. If you do that, make sure you take the bone out, of course, and the hard skin, which we call them the cuerito. Cutting the meat, small pieces. Here is my meat. I already cut my meat, and then I'm gonna put the season. Okay, I'm gonna start with the adobo. You can use any seasoning you want, and this is to your taste. You're not measuring anything, just sprinkle some in there. I use an adobo without no pepper, nothing, just a plain adobo. Also gonna use garlic powder and onion powder. And you can add more stuff if you like. You can make your own. I got the black pepper, fine black pepper, and you can, add more spices if you like. And if you like it spicy, you can add some spicy stuff too. We're gonna mix everything. Now here I have a food processor, and I'm going to start adding. This is half cup of olive extra virgin olive oil. That's 1/3 cup of white vinegar. And believe it or not, that's bay leaf. I'm gonna use bay leaf. So I got 2, 3, 4 bay leaf and whole clove. I'm using 6 whole clove. You can add more or less. And 1 medium onion. I'm going to put some oregano, dry oregano. I use in the measurement of 1/3 cup, but I'm not gonna fill it up to the top. I'm just gonna probably put half of that like that. Okay. And I'm going to add 2 envelopes of sazon con culantro y achote. I prefer Goya brand, but I didn't have it at that time, so I'm using that kind. Gonna add 2 for color. And also gonna add 1 envelope of flavored ham. And I'm gonna put that mix in my meat. And I recommend that leaving that overnight if you can. You don't have to, but if you can, you can. When you put the mix, you can leave it all overnight. That way, marinate the thing overnight. I'm also gonna add some sofrito, and I'm gonna add like 2 tablespoons in there. And I have a video on how to make sofrito. If you want to learn how to make it, you can go and check my channel for the sofrito recipe. And we're gonna mix everything. I'm gonna leave this meat marinated for tomorrow. Gonna cover it with aluminum foil. Put it in the refrigerator until tomorrow. Good morning. It's the next day, and I have my meat in there. I put it out of the refrigerator, so it passed 24 hours. So the seasoning is there. And I have a big caldero or medium saucepan, whatever you have. We're gonna saute the meat. I'm not using no oil. If you wanna put some oil, it's up to you. I'm just gonna saute it a little bit because the pork have oil enough. So, and right there, I'm gonna add some water to the pot. That way, I can take all the spices out of that bowl. It's gonna be like 2 cups of water. I have my meat, my stove on medium heat. I'm gonna stir it we're gonna like kind of saute a little bit the meat, okay? Saute it for 2-3 minutes approximately. That's depend on, you know. Now I'm going to add 1 can of tomato sauce. I'm gonna mix everything again. And add the water. I just put like approximately 2 cups. We're gonna use water because we're gonna boil this for 30 minutes to 30 to 40 minutes or until the meat is cooked. But it takes approximately 30 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna cover that and I'm gonna lower my heat to medium. Okay. So first I'm gonna stir everything. Make sure everything is well combined. Okay, already passed 30 minutes and my meat is cooked. Now adding garbanzo beans, and the garbanzo beans is optional. If you don't like it, you don't have to add them. Me and my daughter love garbanzo beans, so adding 1 can and I drain the water. And here I check in my meat, and if you like olive, you can add some olive. If you like pimentos, sweet pimentos, you can also add sweet pimentos to that. My meat is good. Okay, for the masa or the dough, right? For the masa, we need the following ingredients. I have the green bananas, and I'm using 10 green bananas, and make sure the bananas are green, okay? We're gonna cut this, and I'm using glove because the banana stain, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I have my cutting board. I have a big knife. I have a potato peeler. We can use more knife if you like. I have jautilla. Some people or some places call them malanga, but in Puerto Rico we call them jautilla blanca, which is white taro root. And you see, I'm gonna close that way you can see. I don't know if you can see it. Called malanga jautilla blanca, but we call them jautilla. So I had 2 pounds. 2 pounds of yautía in there, and I'm going to use the grater, and the grater come with different shapes as you see. We're going to make sure you use the smaller side of the grater, and be careful because you can shred your fingers. And a big bowl with water because we're going to be adding that in there. So I'm going to put my glove and we're going to start cutting my bananas and everything. Okay, we're gonna cut the side, and then I using a plastic bag, that way I can put everything inside. You can cover your table with the tablecloth if you like, because that stain, the banana stain. So with a butter knife, the butter knife gonna help me um just release some of the plantain skin. Just want to tell you that. And if you have help, you can use your husband to do that. Okay, now we're gonna place it in the bowl with water. We're gonna continue doing the same thing with the yautía. I'm using the potato peeler, grabbing my bag, and then I'm gonna peel that. So I'm gonna finish doing that, and I'm gonna show you the other step we're gonna. Now I have an olive oil in there, and I have my grater. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm gonna shred that. You can use a food processor, but the consistency is not the same. But we're gonna shred it. We're gonna do that. So I have my masa in there. So we're gonna make sure we're gonna mix everything together because we have the tortilla, we have the bananas. We're gonna combine everything together. And I have the salt. The salt is to your taste. And remember, okay, your meat already has salt on it. And also you're gonna add more salt when you boil that. So you're gonna add salt to your taste. And I had the red stuff you see at the there. Well, I'm gonna add first the 1 cup of the liquid from the meat. And also I have 1/3 of the achiote oil. 1/3 of achiote oil, and I had a video on how to make achiote oil. If you don't know how to make that, you can go to my videos and check. So we're gonna mix everything together, and you can add more color if you like. Okay, that's an estimated. Now we're gonna add little by little the that's the liquid from the meat. Like I say, it's 1 cup. We're gonna be adding that, and we're gonna just make sure we mix everything. So now I have my meat in there. In my stove, we're gonna assemble the pasteles. We're gonna put the meat in one bowl. Now I also have extra of the achiote oil for coloring. We have the masa in another bowl. You see, that's the way you want to put it. I'm using that spoon. That's the pastele paper. You can find that at the Latin supermarket. Just ask them for pasteles paper. And the strings for pasteles. And also I'm using the banana leaf, and those come frozen. So I bought at the Latino supermarket, and if you have a plantain leaf, you can use the plantain leaf from your yard. Just put it in the stove, a little bit until turn green, and then clean it up, and then cut it in squares. So it's to your, whatever you like. But I bought the banana leaf at the stores. And you can find that you can use the paper by itself. So this is the way we're gonna do. We're gonna do it in long way. We're gonna add a piece of the banana leaf, put it in the center, like that. I have a couple of the paper already made. Then make sure that's in the middle. We're gonna start putting the achiote oil with a spoon. Make sure you cover the whole thing, because it's not a pasta. It's gonna stick to the banana leaf. Put some in there, as you see, and then we're going to put a big spoon of the masa. Spread it, and then we're gonna put the meat. And make sure when you put the meat, you cover from one side to another side, because you don't want to have blind pasteles. So in that moment, if you want to add some olive, you can add some olive in there, and also you can put a string of the red pepper in there also. So you can just have it separate and put it right there when you put the meat, and then on top put some green olive or black olive. It doesn't matter, whatever you like, and do it. And that's the way you're gonna fold it. You're gonna put it up to the half. Make sure you just fix everything, and then you're gonna find your way to do it until you know. But this is just how I do it. Okay, we're gonna flip that up, and the other side also. And here we have one pastel. You can wrap it up by itself, individual like that, or you can make another one and then put it together. I'm gonna show you one more time. We got this oil, the masa, the meat, and then we fold the papers. And here I have two pasteles. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it together. Okay. We're going to put two pasteles. Now we're going to have a long string. Okay. We're going to cut it with a scissor. And make sure you, okay, we're going to put a double. As you see, we're going to put it on top of the table. Now we're going to put the pasteles, the two pasteles together, like this. Now we're going to grab it, go under. Make sure it's tight enough because we're going to boil this in water. You get the long way. Now you're going to flip the pasteles. You see, show you. Turn like that. Again, turn the pasteles. If somebody can help you put in their finger in there to wrap it up, even easier. Now we're going to make sure you're going to tie it enough, and we're going to cut the excess of the oil, of the string, sorry. And we have the pasteles ready to boil. We're going to boil that from 45 to 1 hour with a little bit salt in the water. Okay, and if you're not going to use it right away, you can put it in the freezer and use it for Christmas or New Year or whatever you're ready to use it. But I'm going to boil two, and I'm going to show you the final result of my pasteles. Okay, here I have 12. This like approximately 12, depend on how much masa you use. But I got 12 pasteles in there, and like I say, I'm going to boil two, and I'm going to save the rest in my freezer. I put this in a plastic bag, and I'm going to place them in the freezer for another day. And I'm going to show you how the pastel looks at the end. Here I eating my pasteles. Goody, goody. Delicious. Oh, delicious. Look at that. Real soft with a lot of meat. Mm-mm-mm. Mmm. Mm-mm. Delicioso. Bye. Thank you.